Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Oh my God, are you seeing this shit, bro? Tesla closed at $695. What the hell is going on?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
Now with IBM getting here, I think it's just going to come more to the forefront, and people are going to get more and more eyeballs on Salesforce. Should see a really nice move.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
We got D's nuts in the crew. Every crew needs D's nuts. You know what D's nuts' number one holding is? Big C.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Look at that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you guys own it. Fat Man Zoom. We have a hell of a day, hell of a 72 hours ahead of us.
We're talking about Tesla earnings.
Yes, we are.
Try that again.
What?
We're talking about Tesla earnings, then we'll talk about the 72 hours.
Okay. I was just giving them a preview of the show, but we can talk about Tesla earnings as well. That was the whole point. But we'll go with that. We have the earnings after hours today,
start over,
and then we also have
Tesla.
Tesla.
Start over.
What are we doing?
We're doing what we talked about. We were doing.
That is what we talked about. We're also going to tell you guys about the Chaos Crew right in the beginning.
Okay. All right.
I am super lost right now. Anyways,
Pre-production meetings are pointless, apparently. All right, go ahead. Just go.
For a refresher would be good. Okay, so we have earnings after hours. It's a very important earnings after hours. I'm all fucked up. We also have Tesla that we are regurgitating after yesterday and kind of like just talking about what happened, why did it sell off, all that good stuff. So why did that happen? Fat Man Zoom.
Why did it happen?
Why did it sell off? What did investors not like about Tesla's earnings yesterday?
I'm not sure what they didn't like. I'm not really in the business of trying to figure out what they didn't like, but what I am in the business of is trying to spot opportunities. And so one of the things is, I think it's easier to predict that Tesla's going to sell off than it is going to run up. I don't think, we played this game multiple times. It's not surprising when it sells off. As much as we want to get excited about Tesla's earnings, we talked about this yesterday. We're like, Tesla has to really blow it out. And so I think what stood out as far as the earnings are concerned was they didn't really give us anything new, right? Like they talked a little bit about full self-driving. You'll talk probably a little bit about profitability, but really they just did what they normally do. They performed well.
Yeah, the running theme is that if you take out the tax credits and the selling of the Bitcoin, they didn't come in profitable, and so that's what the big key takeaway is for many, I guess, if you want to call it institutional investors, as to why they weren't really happy with that, and you saw a little bit of a selling off, and so that is the theme. But I think that these are a lot of one-offs. One of the big costs to Tesla was the stock options, the program that they have Elon Musk under. That's kind of like a one-off that may carry into the next 1 to 2 quarters. Mm-hmm. One big standout for me was the margins. Margins increased, sales increased.
Yeah.
Elon was making some crazy outlandish claims that he might be that the Model Y is going to be the number one selling car in 2022. I don't know how that happens. We'll see. Well, I'm not going to bet against the guy, but man, that is crazy. The Toyota Corolla sold $1.5 million last year.
I don't know if that would. Well, he's not positioning it as, he didn't say the best selling car, right? It was like the SUV.
The Model Y will outsell every other vehicle out there.
Yeah. So one of the things that was interesting about it was before he said that, he actually talked about the Model 3.
Yeah.
And am I mistaken in that he said that Model 3 was the best selling luxury sedan, passing BMW?
That I don't know.
Yeah. So if you look at it, I have it right here. So let me just pull it up. But why don't you talk a little bit while I pull this up? Why don't you talk about a little bit as far as the Bitcoin thing? Because I think the Bitcoin conversation, here it is. So Model 3 became the best-selling midsize premier sedan in the world. That's a lot of technicals, but the best-selling, and he clarified, he said, it's actually should say the best-selling luxury sedan of any kind in the world, which the BMW 3 Series was for the longest time.
Yeah, yeah.
So he said that exceeded by Tesla Model 3. That hasn't been talked about. And then as far as the Model Y, yeah, he did say when it comes to the Model Y, we think the Model Y will be the best-selling vehicle, best-selling car of any kind in the world. Maybe not 2022. Maybe they do. But they have more facilities coming, and I don't think that's much of a reach.
So yeah, the Toyota Corolla is the number one selling car in the world. It's 1.5 million last year were sold, and the F-150 or the F-Series trucks, 850,000 of them were sold in the U.S. last year. That's how many that Tesla's projected to sell in their entire portfolio this year. So that would mean that like the amount of cars that they have to sell next year will be astronomical as far as their entire portfolio is concerned. And then you throw a Model Y in there being the number one vehicle in the world. That's craziness. Now, I will say, Elon Musk has, reinvigorated space travel. He's done all kinds of crazy stuff. He's obviously brought back the EV. He's done so many things. Yeah. So are you going to bet against him? I'm not doing that. But that sounds a little bit, I think you almost kind of feel like he's setting himself up for failure in a sense.
Well, I think you got to build excitement. And even if he's 75% right, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even if they cut into that. The other thing you got to factor in is those companies, they're probably not going to be gaining market share. They're going to be losing market share because we already see it. These companies are trying to get into EVs, and their focuses are in different places. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's a pretty interesting claim. But what I really took out of it was the Model 3. That was really interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
And that's huge. And I think what we say is like institutions are going to do whatever they do, but we really have to look at this and use some common sense investing. And let's talk about the Bitcoin. So Tesla bought how much Bitcoin? 1.5 billion?
1.5 billion, yeah.
And they sold 10%, which they mentioned. And if the market is responding to that negatively...
Everybody lost their mind on Twitter for that.
From a common sense perspective, that actually... What a great move.
Yeah, they sold for profit. They made a bunch of money. Yeah. And it was a test. So did you read about like the whole purpose about So if you guys haven't, a
liquidity test?
Yeah, it was a liquidity test to see if they had to sell it, could they sell it rather quickly? And that they could. I mean, they sold $200 million worth of Bitcoin like that.
Yeah.
They made a profit. They did it at a really good time. I mean, you think about when they first bought it and what they sold it for. So like that was great. And they're still holding a ton of it. So 10% is nothing. And people are all up in arms about it, calling Dave Portnoy calling Elon Musk lettuce hands, which, he's one to talk. But, I mean, there's a lot of people poo-pooing on Elon today about that.
Yeah, I haven't really heard about it, but, like, we'll see what credible sort of analysts say regarding it. Because, Dave Portnoy,
I know,
he's just doing that just to stir things up and to get attention. But... when you think about it from a business perspective, it was an incredible move. It's smart. 1.5 billion is more than any other institution, any other company as a store of value has purchased.
Yes.
So, and they've talked more about cryptocurrency. So I think it was a great move. So for those that don't know, they took that and they took it to towards their operating expenses. So that allowed them to become break even. I don't care how you do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Get it done.
So you're going to punish them for making an incredible business move that paid dividends off the immediate next quarter after you do it. It was a smart move. I think this is an opportunity. And that's really the question is as it approaches $700, is it a buy? Will it be a buy? Where you will be buying? I think it's a no-brainer under $700. I think it's unlikely that it goes below 650.
Yeah.
And so
I would say that. I would agree with that.
Can it? Absolutely. But I would say this is a great opportunity for Tesla. And don't be surprised if the next couple weeks we hear some news that gets this thing moving. So I'm excited about it. I thought it was great earnings. I don't care what anybody says.
I paper handed Tesla today. So I actually ended up cutting half. I stuck to my gun, stuck to my plan. I let you guys know what I was going to do yesterday. I said below 710, I was going to trim it and reduce my risk, reduce my exposure to Tesla. And if it was going to be above 780, that's when I would have taken profit, same amount. I would have trimmed 30% one way or the other. And so that's what I ended up doing. I took a small loss. It wasn't like break the bank. Tesla was influencing my portfolio so much that I had to be, it was my own risk tolerance. And that's what we talk about all the time, just sticking to your plan, having your own risk tolerances and make sure that you don't deviate from those because that's what makes or breaks you. So I reduced my risk there. I gambled a little bit and I lost. And so that's just kind of it. But I still have a lot of it. It still makes up a really large chunk of my portfolio, just not as much as it did before.
So is Tesla a buy? That's the question.
I think Tesla is going to be a buy at some point whenever it decides to pick a direction. Today, it's not the day.
Okay. So do you not think it's picked a direction down or you think it's sideways?
No, I think it's still sideways. I mean, we've seen it go down as low as 703. It's gone as high as 722. It's just, it doesn't know where to go right now.
Yeah. So under 700 is a buy for me, guys. There you guys have it, man. Check out Tesla earnings for yourself. Also, we've talked about it this morning in the crew. When you were talking in level 3, we talk about it in Discord. If you guys want access to Brad's portfolio, where he talks about the positions, the trades he's in, you can get access to that. Click join the crew. It's only $4.99 a month.
Next to subscribe. All right, Brad Paperhands. That's me.
Well, you're still in it.
I'm still in it. Yeah, I only sold a third of my position.
Yeah, I remember all the group buys. Literally every single group buy he had paper hands on.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I took my profit.
All right, let's get into the meat of this. First off, I need to shout out our starting 5.
Let's do it.
Nate, Sam, Ralph, team coaching, El Don, Rudy. This is how it's going to work, guys. We're going to go over, this is earnings reaction day, so we got good earnings. We're going to go over Google, Visa, Pinterest, AMD, and Starbucks. We're going to talk about the earnings expectations. We're going to give our predictions on it. We're going to probably give predictions on when it's going to move. And actually, we've bought a few of these.
Yes.
So I didn't tell you which ones I bought, but you bought one. I bought 2 that we're going to hold over earnings. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
And so after the bell, we're going to actually watch and see how it reacts. So we'll stay around probably 15 minutes after the bell. But before we do that, I want to talk about earnings that happened. I don't know how UPS ended up, but we had a couple earnings this morning.
UPS annihilated it.
Yeah, I mean, they crushed it, and early this morning it went off 10%, but I didn't check it after 10 o'clock.
It's up 10.5.
So it's basically stayed right around there.
Yeah.
Crocs and UPS absolutely ran the table today. Is Crocs still, is it over $100?
Crocs went absolutely
100. I don't know if
shit.
it's,
So
it's
I'm pulling
not.
us out to the 5-minute chart just so you can see the action intraday here. And just looking at UPS has got $200 written all over it. I'm sure we'll see that over the next couple of weeks. Crocs, ticker symbol CROX. This is a Stockwatch Sunday special, folks. If you guys weren't tuning in to Stockwatch Sunday, make sure you're hitting that notification bell and subscribe because Fat Man Zoom absolutely nailed this stock. And it is up. It only pulled back a little bit. So it was up as high as around 18-20%.
Yeah.
And now
like
sitting up.
What was it? Oh, almost 101.
Yeah, $100.98 is the high of the day, and it is pulling back here a little bit, but holding up pretty well, I would say, for as much as it's run up with those earnings numbers. They crushed it.
They did crush it. A lot of what we expected when we talked about in Stockwatch Sunday. So I did a video on Fat Man Zoom channel where I kind of broke it down, got into a little bit more detail. So I won't get totally in depth with it because a lot of you have already heard this.
Yeah.
But I will tell you what did sort of the Cliff Notes version. They were talking about that this is the strongest they've ever been. They were talking about revenue growth.
The strongest they've ever been?
Yeah. So demand is
since,
strongest they've ever been.
2006?
Justin
Crazy.
Bieber, they talked about sort of the mainstream approach, which is exactly what we said.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber kind of pushing that along, but it just picking up a lot of steam. And they talked a lot about essentially the stay at home, just people wanting to be more comfortable.
Yeah.
And so the thing about Crocs that I did not mention on Stockwatch Sunday is another reason why it's such a great brand is simply the fact that a lot of brands you buy one pair and that's it.
Yeah.
You could buy a bunch. And there's accessories as well. I know we've talked about in the past, but really the fact that you can buy a bunch of Crocs is a really great business model. Digital, e-commerce, that did really well. Direct to consumer did really well. Every possible metric you could look at, they dominated. And I mean, they probably exceeded my expectations, but this is exactly what we were looking at. And, this move is incredible.
This is I expected them to beat. I didn't expect a move like this, but this is awesome. This is really good. So, yeah, UPS came in and crushed it. Crocs came in and crushed it. Was there any more this morning?
I don't know if there was any that really were that important, but I can pull those up as we move into. So this morning, 3M
beat, which was another one on Stockwatch Sunday, too.
BP.
3M beat, but then pull back. I don't think their outlook was all that great, but I think this is another really good opportunity. This is the same time, and I actually warned you guys about this. So if you guys weren't privy to Stockwatch Sunday, I said that I think they beat earnings, which they did, but then they'll end up pulling back because of their outlook. But I think the outlook is still going to be really good here, especially when we're looking at some of the industrials and materials plays. Don't underestimate 3M. I think this is actually a really good opportunity for them. Eli Lilly honestly didn't get a good shake either, but yeah, this is actually looking like a pretty good opportunity, I think, for 3M if you guys are looking to get into like a materials play.
The other one I wanted to see, GE didn't really have a reaction like I'd hoped for.
Their outlook wasn't great either.
So, all right. So today, let's start off with the big dog, Google.
So yeah, Google has earnings after hours, and their estimated earnings per share got raised since Stockwatch Sunday. So Stockwatch Sunday, what did we say? $15.75 was the estimated earnings per share, and then they got moved up to $15.88. I said I ended up blowing it out of the water anyway. I said it was $18 and some change. So I still stand by that. I think that Google could very well potentially do that. We've seen that from them before, but don't expect the reaction to be anything crazy. Historically, Google or Alphabet has beaten earnings. They're actually consistent at beating pretty much every metric that we expect them to. I do think that this estimate raised just before earnings is a little bit concerning just because the expectations, I think, are set awfully high, but I have them set higher. So I'm not like overly worried, but there's a little cause for concern because maybe analysts are having even higher expectations for this. It doesn't change my outlook here because I ended up buying 2 shares of Goog just to kind of satisfy the gambling itch a little bit. And that's what it is, guys. If you're buying before earnings, especially the day of, just understand that you're taking a gamble here. But I will say that I'm taking advantage of this if it does end up popping. And if it doesn't, I'll just end up buying more because I've been wanting to buy Google anyway.
Yeah, I have it beating it by even more. I think it's going to be over $20. I have $21.09.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As the number. I am actually a little bit concerned about this earnings, and I think it's for a couple of reasons that we're privy to. YouTube. Yeah. I think YouTube, we're seeing the slowdown in it, and I'm not necessarily sure that's not for this quarter. I think their guidance moving forward, if I'm Google or Alphabet, I am tempering expectations. And so we always talk about, really, it's about the guidance, the outlook. And we're seeing across YouTube, we're seeing the numbers come down.
We have, yeah.
And that's ad revenue as well that's tied to that. So I'm nervous about that from a short-term perspective. Now, a competing factor, which we'll see how it plays out, are with opening up, are businesses spending more on ad revenue for Google search? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that
travel industry
that could play into it. And if they temper expectations, I don't think that's good for a stock that's already run. And the last thing to consider is, as far as stocks that have a massive run, and Google blew out earnings last time, it's hard to compete with that. It's like Zoom when they blew out earnings. There's no way they were going to run up again the next earnings. I feel like we might be in that position where they've set the bar so high, it's hard to have such a run afterwards. I could be wrong, but those are things that kind of make me a little bit cautious as far as Alphabet's concerned. But I love the stock long term.
We always look for reasons to be bearish on anything. So those are definitely causes for concern. I will say that the channel here, views have dropped 50%, and it's been across the board. So like I was like, what the hell's going on? You look at other channels, and they've also dropped a lot over the last 80 to 90 days. So it's been a certain drop off. So that is definitely something to consider. But the travel side of things, I think, could potentially make up for that, and then some. Yeah,
I don't know how much revenue they drive from travel. That'll be. I wish I had that data, but that'll be interesting to know how much they drive from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next one we have is Visa. One we both like. They have $1.27 a share as the estimate. I had them. This was Stock Watch Sunday. I had them at $1.45. You had them at $1.35. We both have them as a beat.
Yeah, estimated earnings per share at $1.27. Currently, is trading slightly red, but starting to run up in the earnings here. It's at $230 a share. We've been talking about Visa being an absolute screaming buy since below $200. And look at the daily chart here. Fat Man Zoom. This thing is still breaking out, I think.
Looks great.
If they come in with a positive outlook, then I think that this stands to reason that it probably ends up going higher. If it does not, and they end up having the same type of sentiment that we saw with American Express last week, then this could be a really good opportunity because, again, we're sticking with this whole travel theme. Visa, the transactions that are going to be made over the next, 6 months, let's just call it, I think it's going to be extraordinary. So I think Visa will definitely be a good opportunity if by some chance they beat earnings but give a bleak outlook.
Yeah, not a huge mover, but just like steady Eddie. And this to me is like one of the stocks when you think about a long-term investment portfolio, you got to put in there.
Yeah.
It's a great company, incredible balance sheet. And I think they're between Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they're the one that has the best balance sheet, and I think they're the one that is willing to spend their money to take chances. So look for them to squarely compete against PayPal and the likes of Square and try to make moves. So I'm hoping I hear news about that, whether it's crypto exposure or whether it's, virtual merchant processing. I don't know, but I would say Visa is willing to take a chance. And if I'm in their shoes, that's what I'm trying to do because I'm not afraid of MasterCard.
No.
I'm afraid of Square and PayPal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next one we have is Pinterest. So this is the one I bought. I bought the next two. I actually did buy Pinterest before we went live. Hope I don't regret this. This one has potential for more volatility than Visa.
Yeah.
Estimates per share is 7 cents. Bro, I have them coming in at 26 cents a share.
Woo! 26.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, I mean, maybe that happens. I mean, when we look at Snap last week and the reaction that we got and the earnings that actually came in, they beat earnings by 5 cents. They came in at break even. But man, if they come in and smash earnings like that, I just bought Facebook today too.
Which is a good pickup.
Which is, and Facebook was red today, which is why I ended up picking some more up. But, if Pinterest does that, I'm going to be doing a happy dance in my Facebook holding right now.
Bro, I'm going to say, so I will add to Pinterest if it gets below 70.
Okay.
And
I like that.
I want this thing to go to 100.
So I think Snapchat and Pinterest goes to 100 this year.
Yeah.
And I also paper-handed Snap, by the way.
So Pinterest will be interesting. They're talking a lot about, we had it on the watch list today. So guys, if you're interested, you want a free watch list, go to onlycast.com, click get a free watch list. We send out a free watch list every morning before the market opens with 5 stocks we're watching. Pinterest happened to be on it today. And what we mentioned was they're kind of like, they lag behind. So they added like a stories feature. They also did getting into AI, a lot of moves that like you could say Snapchat was doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's smart of them. And so for Pinterest, their issue has always been monetization, and it looks like they're clearly trying to focus on generating ad revenue and monetizing and really leveraging their community, which is extremely loyal. We always look for these companies that have cult-like following. And so I think we're going to hear a lot about that, move its way to $100.
Be honest. If you are a lady, you have a Pinterest app. If you are a man who has a lady friend, they're always telling you about what's on Pinterest. Tell me I'm lying. Here's the other thing about Pinterest, though.
Yeah.
They've been focusing heavily on global growth as well over the last 9 months. So that should be interesting to see how they've been able to carve their way into the global markets as well. And I think obviously one of the biggest metrics on all of these social media platforms is active users. What's their daily active users? What's their revenue per user? All that good stuff. So that's going to be the focus. Obviously, that's the first place that investors will look. And then some of the other stuff will be discretionary, but we'll see how all that shakes out. We love Pinterest. We love Snap. They've both been growing substantially over the last year, and there's no reason to believe that they're going to be slowing down here either.
Well, one thing we haven't talked about, I don't think ever, is think about this. How hot is the housing market, right? Like we've talked about the housing market. If you're a company that in the housing market, right? So it's like Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Restoration Hardware, where are you spending your revenue?
Right.
Like digital ad revenue. Pinterest is perfect.
Yeah.
These people that are moving into new homes or remodeling their homes, Pinterest is a great place to spend digital ad revenue. So that's sort of a sleeper opportunity with Pinterest. And I'm talking myself into more confidence in this stock.
So I have Pinterest. And I have Pinterest, the app. And I haven't done anything with it. But I get notifications all the time about dudes and Jeeps on Pinterest.
Really?
Yeah, there's like all kinds of like Jeep stuff on there.
If they can find a way to leverage males, this thing will be a monster. But from a selling perspective, if you had one or the other, you want females.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in a good position. Next one, we got AMD, 44 cents a share. This is the other one I bought. I think they beat 52 cents a share. I'm not as confident in this as I am in Pinterest, but we've spoken about AMD. I think this is more of a technical play.
Yeah.
I think this is a good opportunity. It has run up recently, but we'll see what happens.
It's coming down here right before the close. We got about 3.5 minutes to go. I like AMD, obviously longer term. What I am a little bit encouraged about, and this was another one that was on the watch list, folks. So again, hit that join button next to subscribe if you want to be a part of the Chaos crew and get these recommendations. I put up well, I shouldn't say recommendations, just watch lists, stuff to watch for. I put ASML on the watch list 2 Fridays ago, and they came out with earnings, and they smashed them out of the park. And a huge breakout here on the daily chart on ASML. More all-time highs for this thing, and it continues to run. If you guys don't know what ASML is, they're a materials company that provides a lot of technology and materials for AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, all these guys. So if you are a chip maker, you're going through ASML to get a lot of your materials as well. So this is, I think, could be a precursor to what we could see out of AMD. There is a chip shortage. We all know about that. So that's probably obviously the biggest elephant in the room as far as, what the reaction could be after hours. So that's kind of going to be the spotlight for AMD. But yeah, historically, it's been weird with AMD. Whenever they beat earnings, it still sells off. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, because I just wouldn't be surprised if we saw selling after earnings beat today.
Yeah, for sure. So I have 52 cents a share. I see a beat. Starbucks is the last one. 53 cents a share is the estimate. I have them coming in at the Steve King D. Is that King D now?
I guess.
King D special, 69 cents. This has been a stock watch, a watch list special.
On the Chaos special, yeah.
But I expect a great earnings from them. I'm not sure it runs after. I was hesitant. I was thinking about it.
I'm surprised you didn't buy this.
But I think it's just had such a massive move. But I mean, I love this stock. Another one that's in my long-term investment account. I love it. Yeah. I think it's great. I expect them to have great earnings.
I'm a little bit worried that this has gotten a little ahead of itself, just from a P&E perspective. So I think that they're definitely going to have to surprise quite a bit with a really amazing outlook. But look, they've been able to scoop up a lot of the coffee shops that closed down during the pandemic, which just means more market share for Starbucks, if you can believe that they have the ability to take up more market share, and they do. So that definitely plays in their favor, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at that. But yeah, I think that there's definitely even more upside for Starbucks. I'm just a little worried that maybe they've been pulling themselves a little bit too far, and so we'll have to see how these earnings shake out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I mean, I think that it's ran, and we've already known the catalysts that have happened. I'm not sure what new catalysts they have.
Yeah.
So if it pulls back, it's definitely an opportunity in my opinion. But I mean, I would love if it pulled back below 105. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, folks, a lot of people have been talking about us being in a bubble, and all that good stuff. These earnings, I think, this kind of just goes into the title of today's show, the most important 72 hours of the stock market for this year, and it's all has come down to spending. Are people spending money on these companies? And I think that we could see a huge amount of spending. America's favorite pastime, it's not baseball, it's spending money. And so if we see the huge demand that we're expecting on people spending money on a lot of these companies, and this goes into tomorrow and Thursday as well, so this will be a running theme for the next 3 days. I think this is going to be a huge pivotal moment for the stock market. I mean, all these FANGs, people have been worried about, the FANG stocks, if they crash, it could bring the market down with it. But I think the thing of it is, Fat Man Zoom, it hasn't. I mean, the FANG stocks really haven't participated hardly at all in this market run-up. And so, and the market was unaffected by that. It continued to go up. So I think that even if, for some reason, these FANGs disappoint, then I don't know if I would even be worried about a market correction, even if they come down, because the rest of the market's continuing to go up, especially with the cyclicals, materials, discretionaries, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic about, those reopenings. I feel like those are the ones that are really important to us.
Yeah.
Because those FANGs in tech have just been on a monster tear, so it is what it is. But you're looking at these earnings this morning, they were huge.
Yeah.
Like they're like blowing it out of the water, and so that's really promising.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, make sure you like and subscribe if you want. How many people we got in the house?
We got 205 of you guys, so thanks for letting us be a part of your afternoon. Hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, if you're getting anything out of it. And the market is officially closed. Looking at Goog right now after hours, it seems to be the one that has the most movement, just looking here on the surface. I'm going to bring it back out to the 5-minute. Ooh, it is going off here a little bit.
Nice.
So we might have numbers immediately on Alphabet. We'll just see how this all shakes out. It's still early, but we got some pretty crazy volatility here right now on Goog. It just spiked up to 348. Oh, just went up to 348. 349.85.
Holy shit.
Let's go. Woo! Please hold there. This is rolling, baby.
We got numbers?
Well, I don't see any numbers yet. Daniel Camarena, thanks for hanging out, man. From the FedEx warehouse in California, IA. Goog is about ready to approach 2,400 right now. 2375.79 is what it just hit here in after hours trading. Huge move on this right now. Checking out some other ones. Visa is up 0.5%. Doesn't look like we have too much action there. Pinterest is up 1.5% as well. Guys, it's going to be very fluid, so I'm going to be doing a lot of bouncing around here. But Pinterest looks like it's moving up as well. We don't know if there's numbers out just yet, but Goog just hit 2390, sorry. 2390. So let's freaking go on that. It's up 3.25% here after hours. Jeez, a whiz. All right. Okay.
AMD. What's AMD doing?
Nothing on AMD just yet. It's up just under 0.25% here, and not really too much action so far on AMD. Starbucks, also not really anything going on there just yet. So I'm going to bring us back to Goog. Right now it is up 3.5% after hours. That is a monster move, ladies and gents. Almost to 2,400. That's awesome. So we come back out to the daily chart just to give you perspective as to where we're at here. That is all-time highs for Goog by a long shot. So we've said that we could see Goog to $2,700 per share based off of what we think we could see from revenue that they're bringing in, especially when it comes to the travel industry. What are the numbers, Fat Man Zoom?
$26.29 per share.
Oh my God! Wow.
Revenue was $55 billion versus $52 billion expected.
Jesus.
So usage grew 70. No, this is just random numbers. YouTube has 47% year-over-year ad revenue growth in the fourth quarter of 2020.
That is wild. All right, bring it back to the 5-minute chart just to give you guys what's going on
awesome.
here. Unbelievable. That is amazing. $26 a share, ladies and gents.
Sell it.
Let's see here. Alphabet approved buyback of additional $50 billion of Class C stock, according to Karthik. So I hope it's okay I shortened that name. Karthikeyan, I think that's how you pronounce that. But, yeah, this is looking awesome. Still rolling here. All right, checking in on some other stuff. Pinterest seems to be rather non-reactionary. It's still up 0.75% right now after hours. Starbucks, same thing, up 0.75%. AMD, no reaction just yet. It's only up about 0.33%. Here we go, Goo. Come on, hit 2,400 for me, will you? Are you little son of a bitch? There we go. $2,400 a share for Goog. All-time highs. This is incredible.
Nice trade, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I bought this, I want to say low 2,300s I bought this at. Hold on, let me just double check here. My cost basis on Goog this morning.
Wait, was Microsoft today? Shoot, how did we miss Microsoft?
2309 was my cost basis.
Man.
Microsoft was this morning?
No, it was today. It's after hours. They just reported. Man, I don't know how we missed it. I love Microsoft.
We skipped right over it.
They beat on revenue slightly.
Jesus,
Earnings
dude.
per share 203.
Google's up 5% after hours right now.
Wow.
Okay, so let's check out Microsoft. Microsoft's actually pulling back. It's down 4% already after hours.
Oof.
Yikes. You know what, though? I'm not surprised by this at all. Have you guys noticed the monster run that Microsoft has had over the last 6 months? This is one of the FANGs that actually, well, they're not technically a FANG, but we lump it into the FANG. This is one of the big tech stocks, big cap tech, that's moved when the other ones haven't. And so this doesn't surprise me that this has come down. I wonder if this probably has a lot to do with the Azure numbers. I'd be curious to see what they look like. Starbucks is down 1.25% after hours. What you got?
It's in 62 cents per share is what it came in at.
That's Starbucks?
Yeah. So they beat. I don't have any other things yet.
Google's up over 5.25%.
We're good on Google numbers, guys.
Whew. About time one of them worked out.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Starbucks, what did you say you wanted to buy Starbucks at? 107?
105.
It's coming close.
Is it?
No. It's down 113.
Google Cloud revenue was $4.05 billion. I wish I had context. I don't. YouTube ads are $6 billion. Yeah, these Google numbers look great.
Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Pinterest, still no reaction from Pinterest just yet, so I don't think we have those numbers. AMD is still up about 0.5%, pretty non-reactionary there. Starbucks is continuing to fall here. $112.43 is the low of after-hours trading. Microsoft also still down 4%. Did I give the rundown? Visa, still no movement on that either. Google is pulling back slightly, down up still 4.5% here after hours.
Wow. Starbucks, you got hammered. I mean, we said it's had a run.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was concerned about. Karthik says, here we go. I think one of our viewers says Visa earnings per share 138. What did I say? 135?
For Visa?
Yeah.
135, yeah. I have 145. I have some Starbucks
So it
information.
came in right in between there. So not too much of a reaction from Visa as far as those earnings are concerned. What you got on Starbucks?
I might be buying this. So Starbucks, better than expected earnings. They beat, which we knew, 62 cents versus 53.
Yep.
Slightly missed revenue, 6.7 billion versus 6.8 billion. But they raised their full year forecast for earnings and revenue. Mm-hmm. Net sales rose 11%, and they are China just turned positive for the first time during pandemic. So basically, they returned to pre-pandemic levels.
Yeah.
Bro, this might be a steal. This might be a steal. I predict this is a dip buy opportunity, and that analysts process these earnings and raise price targets and this thing starts moving up.
Watch the upgrades come tomorrow, and this thing starts to go.
For sure.
I am just checking in on some of the other ones.
Pinterest is trying to do something.
AMD non-reactionary. Yeah, Pinterest is up 1.15%. Visa is finally starting to move here after their earnings came out on an earnings beat. The revenue was $5.7 billion to the expected $5.55 billion. Again, adjusted earnings per share were at $138 with the expected of $127. Fatman Zoom predicted 145. I said 135. Still a really awesome beat, and this actually looks like it's continuing to go up to all-time highs for Visa.
Nice.
This continues to go. This is going to continue to go, in my opinion.
What's 52-week highs? 235?
For Visa, yeah, it's close to that. 232.95 is the high, so it is right there.
Okay.
It's right there.
AMD, is AMD moving?
AMD is moving here after hours, so let's go ahead and this is awesome.
Here we go.
Here we go. What we got?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's moving.
I thought you had numbers for me.
No.
Yeah, so pretty nice looking boner candle here as well on AMD. Maybe chip shortages is not really going to be a thing for them. We talked about AMD, bro, being a solid buy at $78 a share for quite a while it was hanging below $80. And it's looking pretty good here so far after hours.
Yeah. We'll see. Break over the intraday high will be nice.
Yeah,
Intraday high?
It did. It broke over.
So I should say stay over that.
Yeah.
Here we go, AMD. The numbers are they beat 52 cents, 44 cents were the estimate. I hit that on the nail on the head.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
3.44 billion versus 3.2 billion estimate. Listen, that doesn't matter. If they can say they're addressing the chip shortage somehow or give us some positive, which every CEO of a semiconductor company needs to be doing, then that's positive. So I want to see what else they have to say.
They need to be very clear
turn
about
red
that.
in a second.
It just did, and then it spiked red all the way down to 84.89, and now it went back to green. Quite volatile. Oh, now the buy-in's coming.
3.5%, is that right?
Yep.
Here we go, baby.
$88. Nice trade, my friend. $88 after hours right now for AMD. It is up. This is uncharacteristic of AMD, I'm telling you guys. We don't usually see this for earnings, so there's got to be something else in that report that I would imagine.
Oh, Pinterest just shit the bed.
It did. It's down 6% after hours right now. Pinterest came in. Don't you own Pinterest as well?
Yeah.
Well, there's trades offset. So, yeah, Pinterest is down 6% right now. I wonder if that's impacting my Facebook trade. It might.
The hell are you doing, Pinterest? What is...
Shit the bed. Facebook actually is moving up. Let's go! Both of my trades are going up.
Nice. Facebook up 1.5%.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
I'll look to add 10%. Holy shit, Pinterest! What happened?
Yeah. What did happen? It's down 10% now after hours. That is wild. Down to $71.23. Yeah. So we come back out to the daily chart. We look at how this is reacting, and yeah. So $70 is right here. If you guys are paying attention to the chart here, so pretty crucial support. If it breaks below that, may spell trouble for Pinterest, but pretty violent action here. I should say volatile action here on Pinterest. Goog's pulling back here after hours. Trading is down to around 4%. It was as high as 5.5% today in after hours trading.
Looking at any info on Pinterest. Anybody put anything on the chat? Oh, here we go. They beat 11 cents. Sales 485 million. I don't know what they said. They must have said something that disappointed.
I'm telling you, it probably has everything to do with daily active users or revenue per user. I'm sure it has something to do with those metrics. That's always the first thing they look at.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little asymmetrical trade, people.
That's a fair point. Trevor Sachs says Snap did the same thing before going off. Fair point.
So I'm going to do 71.
That man's making trades over here. Looking at Visa, it is still up over 1%. Still looking pretty good. We just like Visa. Visa's a good one to just buy and hold forever, I think. AMD is still rolling here after hours trading. It is at 316, 3%. We'll say that 3%, and it is trading at around. Let me pull it back out to the 5-minute here. 88.69 was the all-time high, or not all-time high, the after-hours high here for AMD, and it's trading right now still at 87.50. So still looking pretty good there. Looking really good. Starbucks is recouping some of their losses earlier in the after-hour session here, sitting at a loss of 1.62%. So starting to claw back here. We can pull this chart out and take a look. And, yeah, some pretty decent buying starting to return here on this as well. Microsoft is also getting bought back up. Microsoft was down around 6%, I believe, after hours, and now sitting at 3.5%. No, I'd lied. I was just kidding. So I think it's probably down around 4%, but still trying to get bought back up here. I'm trying to keep track of it all, folks. Pinterest is still selling off. Lots of pressure on this one here after hours trading. Yeah, man, what a sesh. What a sesh. Did you guys have edibles today? I probably should have. Probably would have been a good idea. A couple of people in the chat are adding to Pinterest right now. I think that, in my opinion, I would wait to see what the outlook here is before I just start throwing money at it. That's just me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's still selling off down here. I don't know if I would try to catch a falling knife just yet. I want to see some more of those details in that report.
Yeah,
It broke below 70 here.
Yeah, I set an order for 66. So we'll see. Where am I at? Sorry, I'm looking at AMD real quick.
AMD is still doing very well.
Sorry. So we'll see. That's an add to it. But then I will be out if it breaks 60 of my entire position.
Yeah.
And I'll call it a day.
AMD looks great.
Mm-hmm. AMD's looking good.
Facebook's rolling. I don't know if Facebook is rolling because of Goog or if it's rolling because of maybe whatever Pinterest had going on there.
Yeah.
Somebody said they're balls deep in Pinterest. Ralph added to Google just before earnings. Nice job, man. Yeah, Pinterest trying to claw its way back, was down as much as over 10%, now sitting down around 8.5%. Still rough here and after hours trading. But there are some really good gems here. I'm encouraged by this, man. I think that we look at how Google has performed, and this definitely could set a precedent for what we see out of Facebook, Apple, and Amazon over the next couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. I think Facebook's going to be key. Amazon, I said it all week. Amazon, to me, is the key.
Yes.
This is the key earnings to set the table for the rest of the year.
The grand finale of this week will be Amazon.
Yeah, and if they can blow it out and if they can provide awesome guidance for e-commerce,
yeah,
I think the Qs just get back to where they were. I think they start moving.
Yeah.
Pinterest just trying to get back. Trying.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's take a look at the Pinterest chart here real quick. Yeah, it is trying. So Pinterest came down as low as $69.40 and is starting to make its way back up. It's $72 right now.
Yeah.
So not so bad. It was down as much as over 10% yet again, and still down 7% here after hours trading. AMD still rolling here. It's up over 3.5% now. This looks great.
Nice.
AMD's still rolling here. Checking back in with Alphabet. Again, they had blowout earnings numbers, $26 a share, in case you guys are just hanging out. And I myself bought into Google this morning while it was still red. 23.09 was my average. And now I'm sitting pretty here on Goog. Really good numbers out of that.
We got a bunch of people in AMD, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Congrats to you guys. Hell yeah. Always like celebrating wins. We'll give you a shoulder to cry on if you're losing, though, too. Don't worry about that. Starbucks is actually starting to climb back here after its brief sell-off here in after-hours trading. It was down as low as 112.25, now sitting at around 114.75, and so is now only down around 1% after hours. Microsoft is still down around 3.5%, so not much going on there.
What's that low for Microsoft?
The low is at 251.32.
See if that 250 stays as a support.
Yeah,
We'll
which I
see.
feel like we saw it hit 240 the last time we did earnings. And then it kind of fizzled out and came back. And so maybe we'll just see how this goes. But this was not surprising out of Microsoft. Yeah, so earnings last time around, it spiked all the way up to around, 240. Man, that memory is impeccable. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I can remember that. So yeah, I think that this could be a really good dip buy opportunity. Right now, if it's sitting at 250, maybe give it a chance to see if it comes back and retest that 246 area on Microsoft. Would really like to see those Azure numbers.
Azure?
Is it Azure? I don't know.
Azure.
I hear people say Azure.
It's Azure. I got you.
Azure. I feel like that should be said in a sentence.
As you're looking at the Google chart, I want to remind you that Pinterest is at 7.5% down.
Yes. AMD is still rolling here after hours. More new highs and after hours trading here. 3.72%. 3.72%. I could not talk.
Esperanza, I just bought a shite load of Pinterest at $70.50.
Looking pretty good so far.
Nate, for the full year 2021, AMD now expects revenue growth of approximately 50% year over year.
Wow. That's really good.
Up from prior guidance of 37%. So this could continue to run tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to keep going, I think. I think so. Goog, checking back in here, looks kind of like a bull flag pattern here on Goog in the intraday chart on the 5-minute, if I'm honest.
Okay.
This is looking pretty good. You need some red candles before you get some green.
Shit.
That's just call options fill in like I don't know. Weeble does that. Weeble does that. Some crazy market sell.
Jesus.
Nobody be alarmed. I don't know why Weeble does that. It happens a lot.
Intel's dropping.
AMD's still rolling. Oh, Intel's dropping. That's not a surprise. Not with those AMD numbers. More new highs out of AMD after hours trading. Let's check out INTC, which is Intel. Usually, if AMD does well, Intel does not do well. So, yeah, you can see how this is selling off. Honestly, I don't think that's as much of a sharp reaction that we've seen in the past from Intel when AMD knocks it out of the park. So, this is not so bad.
I'll be happy if Pinterest tomorrow opens at a 5% loss. That's all I want. And AMD is up 5% open.
So you just offset both of them?
Just offset it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that'll work.
And I've set my bottom.
Right.
Good stuff, man. Tomorrow's another big day.
Tomorrow's another big day. Stock 77, thanks for the donate. Just want to make sure I give you a shout out. It says what to expect from NEO later this week. So NEO has earnings on Thursday after hours. I'm not all that optimistic about it, especially with the reaction we got out of Tesla. We'll see.
I am, and I bought Neo.
Oh, you own Neo? Okay.
Yeah, that was my video. My video on Fat Man Zoom channel was Crocs earnings recap and the one EV, not named Tesla. I just bought today, and so I got it at 41.70 maybe. I'm slightly red, but I'm playing the run into earnings. Not sure if I'm holding on to it or not. We'll see. But this is a very short-term swing earnings play.
Yeah.
I actually think because Tesla kind of let down a little bit, I think NEO, China exposure, I think it has to do the least to have the best move. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like Tesla, it doesn't have the expectations of Tesla.
Yeah.
And so, if they just talk about demand is continuing to stay high, I think people want a reason to get excited about NEO.
Yeah.
But this is a gamble. If I hold it, it's a gamble.
It's very risky, folks. Very risky.
Yeah.
Be holding NEO through earnings. Facebook's still going up.
That's awesome.
Facebook's still going up. Come back here to the 5. And Facebook doesn't even have earnings yet. Still wrong.
Pinterest got erectile dysfunction.
Ain't that the truth? All right, guys. So tomorrow we have Facebook, Apple, Qualcomm is in there. I think Qualcomm, a couple people might be interested in Qualcomm, Ford Motor Company, Teledoc, a few others. So another big day of earnings. Tomorrow morning, Fat Man Zoom, I own a shit ton of Spirit Air System, which is a sister company, if you will, of Boeing. They build their fuselages, do a lot of other parts, wing parts and tail parts and all that good stuff for Boeing and Airbus, but Boeing's their biggest customer. So the Boeing earnings tomorrow should be very interesting. I don't know what to make of those, but Shopify, I'm not selling my Spirit by any means, but it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm sure the outlook will be good, and that's kind of what I'm banking on. Shopify has earnings. Spotify has earnings. Wingstop, which almost made the Stockwatch Sunday list last week, or this past Sunday, has earnings pre-market. ADP, which you actually really like, also has earnings pre-market, so they should all do well, I think.
I think ADP is going to surprise a lot of people.
We'll give our reaction to those tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live yet again to give full coverage. I always wanted to say that. We will be live to give you full coverage of after hours trading and our earnings reactions to all of the things that are going on tomorrow.
All right, guys. Don't forget to hit the like out the door. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, we'll see y'all before the bell. B. Smith, Fat Man Zoom. We're out.
Bye.
See ya.